So you thought the found footage subgenre was dead? That everything was already said and that they cannot come up possibly with any new ideas to make this genre interesting again? Well then think again, because the movie Deadstream is actually quite a surprise and was one of the highlights of this year's Fantasy Film Fest. So if you want to hear more about it, then join me for this short review video.
This is Shawn Ruddy, coming to you live from Death Manor.
Shawn is a YouTube content creator and self-proclaimed the world's greatest scaredy cat. So he made his many fears the main center of his videos, because he is facing them one by one.
For 7 years now, you have watched me face my fears for your entertainment.
Unfortunately, he recently has lost most of his subscribers and also all sponsors dropped him, because one of his challenges to himself included a homeless man that he paid off to do something, which ultimately landed him in the hospital. If I remember correctly, he was paying him to do some kind of a bum fight scenario, if you happen to know these terrible videos. To make amends and get back to where he once was, he decided to face his greatest challenge yet.
One fear that I haven't yet faced. I will be spending one night alone in a haunted house.
This is the most haunted house in the United States.
He also has a brand new sponsor, but just one. And this one sponsor made it clear that should he leave the house, he will lose the sponsorship deal. So arriving at the house, Shawn makes sure he cannot get out easily. He's padlocking the door, makes sure that all the windows are closed and no other way is leading outside. He then sets up a number of video cameras in some very specific hotspots, of which he knows that paranormal activity has taken place there already and was well documented.
Tonight we're going to be monitoring 3 rooms, all of which have actual documented paranormal activity.
All in all, he knows about several ghosts apparently haunting this house. Not just one. But the main one is Mildred Pratt, who also is the spirit that is supposedly in charge of everything that is happening in this house. This is because her death is the first one that happened in this house, and ever since she killed herself there, people living in that house kept dying, which led to the legend that she, not having a family of her own, was acquiring a family by killing people, adding them that way to her kin.
Mildred is collecting souls to create the family she could never have in life.
There is one room though where never any activity was documented. So this is the room Shawn calls his safe room, where he is setting up camp with his laptop and everything else to monitor what's going on outside, and also to make sure to have a place to get back to in case things get too real. Oh, and there is another request from the sponsors. So whenever something appears on screen that might be of supernatural origin, he has to check it out. If he doesn't check it out, he also is losing his sponsorship deal. So this means he cannot just hide in the safe room for the whole night. He has to venture out eventually. Now that you know the basic setup, let's stop the synopsis here, because I can only spoil your fun if I tell you too much about what is happening next. Just get the movie if you can find it. If you live in the US, it is currently streaming on Shudder, and very likely in other countries as well that also offer the Shudder streaming channel, and just enjoy it. Because what you get in this movie is some legitimate scares, while also all the time the main character, Shawn, is a constant comic relief and making fun of himself, both on purpose and involuntary. His presence makes sure that you are not just scared, but have a lot of fun along the way. And another good thing is that the effects are not computer generated, but mostly handmade practical effects, which, and that also helps, pretty much often seems to be an homage to The Evil Dead, the original one, especially when it comes to the design of the main ghost. Regarding the genre of a movie, of course you could debate now that this is actually not really a found footage movie, because he is live streaming everything, and due to that fact, you are thinking about maybe even calling this a new subgenre, like calling it Broken Livestream or something like that. It is for sure though a screen live movie, which means that everything you see is captured on a video screen. Because what we see basically is his live stream, where he utilizes multiple cameras that he either sets up in the house or that he films himself with. You have his first person view as well, because he's wearing a helmet with a camera on it. So there's a lot of cameras that sometimes makes you forget that you are actually watching a so-called found footage movie. Because the classically shaky camera is not happening that often here, which is fortunate because this is the main thing that I hate about found footage. That the camera work is just always shitty and they explain it and excuse it and do it on purpose even, with the fact that it is found footage and it is filmed by the protagonists. So here you have a professional YouTuber who should know how to film, and that is what he does.
Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and follow me on Livid.
And you appreciate that fact because you are not coming out of the movie with a headache. One quick side note. This movie was shown at the Fantasy FilmFest this year and it was shown in a very late time slot. So what happened is that everyone was just reading that this is a found footage movie, where the thought of it already just made some people yawn. And a lot of people, even those with a festival pass, were deciding to just go home early and skip it. Something that I would never do because I'm having my festival pass because I want to watch it all, you know? Not just because I paid for it, but because if I would miss a movie, I would just watch it later because it was shown here at the festival. And the festival for me is some kind of a cult thing because I'm there with a festival pass for 26 or 27 years now. So it's also a matter of honor to watch each and every movie that is shown there. And since we don't have to choose between two movies like in the early days, where they were playing in two screening rooms at the same time, I just go in without actually knowing what I watch because I don't even read the descriptions anymore, and just get completely surprised by what is shown to me. So this also happened here, and as it turned out, for many people, me included, this one was the highlight of a festival. So all those other people who were just thinking, oh, it's a found footage movie and we're leaving, and who I suppose were coming to the festival to see really good movies, were actually missing the best one out of the whole bunch. But now, before we go to the rating, let me ask you to like and share this video if you enjoyed it so far. And if you are not a subscriber yet, maybe consider to change that. By also hitting the notification bell, you will get a heads up for most of my new videos. Now for the rating. Okay, for good movies, reviews are usually quite short, so let's also cut it short here and get straight to the point. I really enjoyed this movie because it was funny as hell, and at the same time the scares also were real. So you have the best of both worlds here, and I have to say most of the movie was really well done. Almost to perfection. And I was very surprised that the lead actors in this movie, though they were most likely just playing the lead roles because they were also the writers of this movie and the directors, which seems to be a product of the COVID lockdown, turned out very convincing and funny performances. Which here shows that special circumstances like these really trigger some creative muscles in people and also brings people in front of a screen who otherwise would have never stepped there. Which here is a really good thing, because, and you can see for yourself, and as I said before, they are doing a very good job. The only slight downside is that the ending of a movie, and I don't spoil anything for you here, no worries, is not the most original. Would the ending would have been even better, then the movie would have come out with a score of 9 for sure. But this way it's getting the phenomenal 8.5 out of 10 points, which is the highest score I have given out this year for any of the movies that were screened. And maybe a small review spoiler regarding my upcoming reviews, none of the other movies was topping this one. It might be that at repeat watches it might slip down a little bit to a lower score, but maybe just slightly. Experiencing it the first time in a movie theater and being in the right mood, it definitely is hitting all the right notes. What about you? Would you have ever imagined that the found footage genre would make a comeback? And that there is still something new to find in there? Would you have imagined that there could have actually been a movie in that genre that would make you rave about? If you cannot believe that, then check out this movie. If you have already seen it, let me know how you liked it. Whatever you think, just let me know in the comments. So much for now, see you next time, and thanks for watching.